Everybody, so it's Henry. So my coffee shop talk is going to be about today is about communication. And I'm going to stress this again. I've probably done one a while back, but let me do a current one. Let's talk about this. So I'll use a scenario. You got 3 8-hour shifts, right? 3 shifts. So that way you cover the whole day. How hard is it for the one shift to tell the next shift what's done, what needs to be done, and the next shift tell the next shift, and the next shift tell the other shift, the first shift, that hey, you still need to do this, we didn't finish it, or why we didn't finish it, or what do we need to do to finish it, or where the status is. You know, it's pretty sad that leaders cannot somehow work together and communicate what their needs are. Listen, you can't function, and I've done this topic on teamwork, you cannot function as an individual shop or individual shift if you don't communicate to the next shift what still is needed. Take pride in writing a turnover sheet and what you accomplished. Take pride in the accomplishment, and then also put in there what you didn't get done and what you need to get done. Be proactive and be helpful in helping your shop, right? Your code, your group, your trade, whatever you want to put lipstick on that frickin' pig, how to frickin' do it. This ain't hard. It's not rocket science. I knew one time when I got to a boat and I had 3 other first classes on this boat. I was the senior first class, so I was put in charge. I was what they call the leading petty officer, but also didn't have a chief. So I was not only the leading petty officer, I was the leading chief petty officer, which is pretty big. On a submarine, it's huge. I had to teach my first classes how to work together. You wear the same hat. You're all first classes. You're all supervisors. You're all general foremans, superintendents, whatever. Stop with the power struggle. Stop. Work together. Put your pride aside and communicate. Send an email. We have the best way to communicate that we ever had in the past. Didn't have it. They didn't have text or computers or cell phones, pagers. They didn't have any of this electronic shit. Now we have more electronic stuff to communicate better and more efficiently, and we refuse to use it. We refuse to use it. It's mind-boggling how somebody can't take time and write down their work, what they did for the day, and what they need done. It's mind-boggling the shift coming on, supervisor, can't embrace that tasking and do and follow up and prove they can be the best. You know, I always walked around with the attitude I was number one. I was a 3rd class in the Navy. I was number 1. I was number 1 3rd class. Number 1 on the boat. Number 1 in the fleet. Number 1. Henry, number 1. You have to walk around with that attitude that you're number 1. You can't be number 1 when you don't use the other ones around you to help you be number 1. You're all number 1. But when you don't want to communicate and pass information along via email or turnover sheets or anything lucrative to help the next person out, I'm going to be honest and straightforward with you. If you don't like it, tough shit. You're pathetic. You're a pathetic person, a pathetic leader, and a pathetic process, and that will cause you to fail. And people know it. So let me tell you something. Let me tell you a little secret. If you're a pathetic leader or a pathetic planner or a pathetic executor of anything, you can't hide. People know it. They talk about it. If you don't have a moral compass to make you think that's painful and it matters, you suck. I care what people say about me. If they don't like my character, I still care, but I'm still who I am, and I'm still going to get the job done. And if you don't want to help me and you don't want to communicate, I'm going to bulldoze you right over, right? And I'm sorry, I won't put the effort in to help you because you can't communicate. You can't take the time to call, text, or email or come out and face-to-face. You need to get over yourself. You need to figure out your problem. You need to get over yourself. And you need to help your company, your organization, your shop, whatever you want to call it, succeed. A lot of times, I'll tell you, relationships and marriages fail because you can't communicate. How about that? You can't do it at work, you suck at work, and then you think your marriage is going to last, or your relationship, or with your partner, whatever you want to call that stuff nowadays, I don't know. And you don't think that it doesn't affect you? It does. It does. Communication in a relationship is just as important with you in society, working or walking amongst everybody. You got a problem with it, you need to look in the mirror and figure out how to get over it. You got a syndrome or OCD where you don't want to send an email or text or reach out to somebody to help you be successful. Get over yourself. You're hateful of the place where you work. Get over yourself. Then don't work there. Move on. Retire. Transfer. Move. Shift. Do something. But don't make it painful on everybody around you. And don't think people don't see it. And don't you think that people don't talk about it. You're fooling yourself. You're lying to yourself. You're being a coward to yourself. People pay attention to details. If you don't, and you don't want to communicate, and you don't want to make things successful, then you need to move on. You need to change career paths, because it must not be for you. But I tell you, the success that I've had in my life and what I've done is because how I communicate. I'm open, I'm honest, I'm straightforward, and I go right after it. You got to do the same thing. If you can't do that, I don't know how to fix you. I don't know how to make your job easier. And what's going to happen is your workers around you will get frustrated with it. They'll either leave, talk bad about you, or they won't support you. Definitely not telling you to walk around with your head up your boss's ass. You don't want to do that either. You don't want to be an ass kisser. But you do want to CYA cover your ass and get things done and communicate with others so that you can be more successful and more efficient. But I'm telling you, I see it, everybody sees it, and we talk about it. Because it's frustrating to come in after somebody and kind of pick up the pieces when nobody communicated, send a simple email and say, hey, this is what I need. But I'm sure you do that when you got a bill you got to pay. I'm sure you communicate well when you got to take your car in for repairs. I'm sure you communicate really well when your pay's not right, or you want to buy a pair of shoes, or you got somebody who owes you something. I'm sure you're really good at communicating that way. Then why can't you do it with your relationship, your partnership, and your job? Answer that question. Why can't you do that? Don't make sense to me. Anyways, that's my coffee shop pitch and my rant for today is communication. Figure it out and make it better, and you need to learn how to communicate. If this don't help you, you better go look in the mirror. Okay, if you say you want to be like somebody else or you want to do better, then you got to learn how to communicate better. Go look in the mirror and talk to yourself and see how you like it. Might not be as good as you think it is. Anyways, Henry out. Have a great day. That's my tip today on communications. Get it better, man. Fix it, will you? Henry out.